Canelo Alvarez is by nature a counterpuncher. He doesn't walk you down that much unless he has you in trouble. So that gives Crawford kind of room to figure it out, to maneuver it. You know, it's not like, but you know, you don't have too many options about how you're going to fight.
Canelo Alvarez has seemingly revealed his biggest fear heading into his colossal showdown with Terence Crawford, a boring fight.
The only running that I'm going to be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that.
Do you have any concern that there's going to be any running in this fight?
I hope not. I think Crawford is not that kind of fighter. He's a different, he bucks.
The Mexican superstar, who has built a career on thrilling encounters, recently expressed his disdain for fighters who prioritize evasion over engagement, a thinly veiled jab at his previous opponent, William Skull. The implication was clear: Canelo is craving a war, and he believes Crawford is just the man to give it to him. He envisions a classic boxing match, a dance of skill and aggression where both fighters are willing to trade leather, a stark contrast to the frustrating chase he endured against Skull. For Canelo, the recipe for a memorable fight is simple: two willing participants, both throwing punches, both moving with purpose. He sees Crawford as a kindred spirit in this regard, a fellow warrior who understands that true boxing is about more than just not getting hit.
To have a good fight, you need both fighters. Boxing is you throw, you get in there and move your waist, move around a little bit, but throw punches, get in there. That's boxing. But when you have one fighter like we saw with the Skull, like running and running, that's not that kind of fight you want, right? And it's very difficult to close that waist and everything. You close him, he jump right away. It's very difficult. What kind of style is that?
The only running that I'm going to be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that.
Do you have any concern that there's going to be any running in this fight?
I hope not. I think Crawford is not that kind of fighter. He's a different, he bucks.
This desire for an action-packed fight sets the stage for what is being billed as a classic power versus skills matchup. On one hand, you have Canelo, the naturally bigger man, a devastating puncher who has knocked out light heavyweights and carries his power up through the divisions. On the other, you have Crawford, the masterful tactician, a pound-for-pound great who has dismantled every opponent with his supreme boxing IQ and blistering hand speed. The narrative is simple, almost deceptively so. But as with any super fight, the devil is in the details, and the experts are deeply divided on how this epic encounter will unfold.
But there's just something about this one that makes it special. I don't know if it's the stakes on the line for Bud Crawford moving all the way up. I don't know if it's Canelo having this rejuvenation and this refocused mindset and attitude toward this fight to once again, even though he doesn't really need to prove that he's one of the greatest ever, once again taking that challenge to do it. Or the fact that this Netflix deal is here with the Ring magazine and Turki Al-Sheikh trying to breathe life into the sport of boxing. But this one just is so important, I think, on a massive scale for what boxing's new era is going to be, and stepping into a new plane and becoming, you know, a sport that is refocused, especially here in America, as one of the big sports that we want to watch. And I think it all really starts with this fight.
One man who is not buying into the power narrative is Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer and one of the most respected minds in the sport. McIntyre dismisses the notion that Canelo's size and strength will be the deciding factor, boldly declaring that his fighter will not be physically outmatched. He scoffs at the idea of Canelo being the bigger guy, a statement that has raised eyebrows throughout the boxing world. For McIntyre, power has never been an issue for Crawford. He points to his fighter's impressive resume, a list of welterweight contenders who were all systematically broken down and stopped. McIntyre exudes a quiet confidence, a belief that Crawford's skills will not only neutralize Canelo's power, but will ultimately be the key to victory.
Do you have a prediction on the fight for Canelo Alvarez?
We're gonna beat this motherfucker. It ain't no cakewalk. We're gonna beat his ass, so I promise you that.
And what's your message to the naysayers that Terence is too small?
Watch and see. I ain't steered you wrong yet. And I ain't in the business to start now. That shit. I tried to tell them about Spence, but they didn't want to listen. Oh, boy, I don't know what you talking about. This is day. Oh, what the motherfucking shit. All right.
The boxing world is a chorus of opinions, and a legend like Mike Tyson's voice always resonates with particular authority. The former heavyweight champion, a man who knows a thing or two about power and intimidation, is surprisingly pulling for the underdog. Tyson wants to see Crawford make history, to see a smaller man once again defy the odds and dethrone a larger champion. He draws parallels to the great Henry Armstrong, a featherweight who jumped up 2 weight classes to beat the welterweight champion, a testament to the fact that in boxing, anything is possible. However, Tyson's heart and head are in conflict. While he hopes for a Crawford victory, his gut tells him that Canelo's potent combination of power, intelligence, and movement might be too much for the Omaha native to overcome.
Canelo or Crawford?
It's tricky. I want Crawford to win, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. You know, I would like for that to happen, but this guy's a hard puncher. He's a smart fighter. He can move. I'm just curious. I just want to see it. I want to be there and see it. Because listen, there's been upsets like that before. You know, Henry Armstrong, 124 pounds, he beat the 146-pound champ. So, you know, you never know. Anything can happen when 2 men are in a ring or in a basketball court. Anything can happen.
Another voice in the chorus is that of Ryan Garcia. Garcia offers a more nuanced prediction, foreseeing moments of brilliance from Crawford. He envisions the smaller man using his speed and skill to land clean shots on Canelo to momentarily outbox the Mexican champion. However, Garcia believes that these punches will ultimately lack the power to trouble Canelo to earn his respect. He sees a scenario where Crawford's early success proves to be a mirage, as Canelo slowly but surely imposes his will, his size and strength eventually overwhelming Crawford's technical wizardry. For Garcia, the fight will be a story of diminishing returns for Crawford, with Canelo's relentless pressure and thudding power ultimately sealing the deal.
Crawford-Canelo, Rod. Keep it a stack. This is the fight of the century. Everybody's talking.
I know.
How do you see it, man?
Man, I really see, I see that Bud is gonna do good. He's gonna do good, but I don't think he's gonna win. But I do see Bud, like, getting a lot of punches off, being able to tag Canelo with some good shots, but they have no effect. That's the thing.
He has the best chin that I've ever
Bro,
seen.
nothing
in my
moves
life.
his head.
Yeah, I've never.
So
I seen one time Triple G hit him and he kind of like, and then he's right back on it.
Bro, that's the thing. Like, I know he's gonna be able to hit Canelo because I've seen Canelo in sparring where he, like, not that he's getting hit. Well, he is getting hit, but it's so ineffective that what he's doing is just he imposing himself too well, and I see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter. I think he's one of the best. I just think that he's biting a little bit more than he could chew. But you never know. If anybody can do it, it could be Crawford. You know, I do see him, like, when he fights, I'm like, damn, how do you beat this guy? You know, he could do it all. He could box, he could bang, he could, you know, step on the gas when he needs to. He could, you know, he could do everything. The only thing I see is sometimes he gets cracked with some crazy ass shots, but other than that, I mean, he's really one of the most complete fighters I've seen in my life.
Max Kellerman is firmly in the Crawford camp, a conviction rooted in his belief that Bud is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He argues that while Canelo once held that coveted title, he has shown signs of decline in recent fights, the wear and tear of a long and storied career beginning to take its toll. In contrast, Kellerman sees Crawford as a fighter still at the peak of his powers, a man who has not only dominated his own division, but has also looked sensational in his move up in weight. He points to Crawford's annihilation of Errol Spence Jr. as evidence of his greatness, a performance that cemented his status as a modern-day legend.
But, like, where would you rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched?
In terms of the magnitude of the fight?
Yeah, the magnitude, yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be number 1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. Those are big fights, but this will, listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be, because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in '78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view, and they do 2 million buys. Oh my God, 4 million buys, Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, per buy, watch, that's 20 million people. This is going to do multiples of that. So, so when you look at it from like a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event I've ever covered.
Of course, no discussion of the super middleweight division is complete without mentioning David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, who has been chasing a fight with Canelo for years. Benavidez, a man who many believe is the biggest threat to Canelo's throne, offers a pragmatic prediction based on the simple factor of size. He believes that Canelo's natural advantage as a super middleweight will be the deciding factor, that Crawford's leap up 3 weight classes will be a bridge too far. Benavidez is quick to clarify that he is not rooting for Canelo, but simply picking him to win based on the physical realities of the matchup.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 168.
Amir Khan, who was brutally knocked out by Canelo and stopped by Crawford, leans towards his former American foe. Khan speaks of Crawford's exceptional boxing IQ, a cerebral assassin who dissects his opponents with surgical precision. He also believes that Crawford's punching power is underrated, that he possesses the ability to hurt and stop bigger men. Khan's experience against both fighters gives him a unique perspective, and his praise for Crawford's skills is a testament to the challenge that awaits Canelo.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might be stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well, that he might do really well in there. So look,
you fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. Yeah. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Yeah. Because. And you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
On the other side of the coin is Liam Smith, another former Canelo opponent who was stopped by a vicious body shot. Smith offers a completely different take, one that is heavily influenced by his own painful experience against the Mexican powerhouse. He points to Canelo's decision to spar with Jaron Boots Ennis, one of the most feared welterweights in the world, as a sign of his intense preparation. For Smith, this is a clear indication that Canelo is not underestimating Crawford, that he is taking this fight with the utmost seriousness. He believes that Canelo's power and experience at the highest level will eventually be too much for Crawford to handle, predicting a late stoppage or a clear points victory for the undisputed champion.
How do you think a Crawford fight goes with him?
I just think Canelo's just too big, too solid to walk him down. Same what he done to like Charlo. Just think Canelo competitive early on, but you see him with Crawford and Madrimov, Crawford's strength, and that didn't really play a factor. And Canelo's a bigger, stronger, better fighter than him.
Adding another layer of complexity to the debate is Sergey Kovalev, the former light heavyweight champion who was also stopped by Canelo. Kovalev, a man who knows firsthand the devastating power that Canelo possesses, sees a path to victory for Crawford, but one that is fraught with danger. He believes that the key to the fight will be how Crawford manages the extra weight. Kovalev warns against the temptation to bulk up too much, as the added muscle could compromise Crawford's speed and agility, his two greatest assets. He speaks of the delicate balance that fighters must strike when moving up in weight, the need to find a comfortable and effective fighting weight that does not sacrifice their natural advantages.
Terence Crawford, great fighter. I like very huge respect to him, and I think so. He's the best pound for pound fighter. But if he will move up, like, he can beat Canelo.
You think so?
Yeah. But I don't know how he will be comfortable, in this division. What division they gonna fight?
Super middleweight.
Super middleweight.
So he would move from 154 to 168.
It's too big. He will be like a slower, because he will be bigger. He will be slower, For a boxing fight. Every boxing should be like a little losing weight for speeding, for light moving. It's not good for him, I think so, for Crawford. But that I know that and I see that he can win.
Why do you feel that? And how does it look like?
By points.
By
points, yeah. Because Canelo will be like keep a hands and like walking the hands. Crawford very smart and fast, you know, but in his weight division. But nobody knows how he will be feeling in the super middleweight. If he will be like in his shape, he will beat Canelo.
As the fight draws closer, the boxing world remains captivated by this fascinating clash of styles and personalities. The debate rages on, with compelling arguments being made for both fighters. Will Canelo's power and size be too much for Crawford to overcome, or will Crawford's sublime skills and masterful timing be enough to dethrone the king? The answers to these questions will be revealed on September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, in a fight that has all the makings of a modern classic. One thing is for sure, with so much on the line and so many conflicting opinions, this is a fight that you simply cannot afford to miss. The narratives are written, the predictions have been made, and now all that is left is for the two best fighters in the world to step into the ring and settle the score. The world will be watching, waiting to see if power or skills will prevail in this epic battle for supremacy.